Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Boondock Nation.
We're here today at Trackside in the Eagle River because we are going to see our brand new snowmobiles for the first time.
That's right, you heard him. Grant gave us the call here at Trackside, and we're going to go check them out. We ordered, well, I guess you guys will just have to stay tuned and watch to see what we ended up ordering last spring.
So this is the sled that I ordered back in March. This is a 2022 Skidoo Summit Expert with 154 3-inch track. There it is.
So, well,
Wow.
the triple black looks so good. So if you guys can tell, Jack and I pretty much ordered the same sled, just a little bit different. So I ordered just the Summit X Turbo. So I did not get the Expert. It still has the narrower bars. It does not have the lower riser. I ordered that. I pretty much ordered all the accessories to make this an Expert, but it comes with a 36-inch front end. So we'll be both running a 36-inch front end, just going about getting there a little bit differently.
Well, those are two good-looking snowmobiles right there.
Yeah, it's kind of the moment of truth right now. We're looking at them and they look beautiful, as Jack said, but now it's time.
We've been working on something pretty cool with Arctic FX Graphics this year. Clutch Energy Drink came out with a couple new flavors. One's Huckleberry Rush,
Yep.
One's Energy 51, and those are the flavors that we themed our wraps around. Let's check it out.
Let's have our first look at these things.
Yeah, that's looking pretty green.
Very green. You a Packers fan?
Not quite. Wow. Sick. These colors that they use are the exact can colors. We'll grab a couple cans here and show you guys what they look like. But we're excited to get these wraps on. These sleds are gonna look completely different. These wraps are completely loud.
Yeah.
Much louder than anything we've really done in the past.
By far.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, I think it's time to start sticking these things on the sleds. And stay tuned to watch these things transform from black Skidoo Turbos to clutch-themed sleds. Good morning, you all. We are back. Last night turned into a little bit of a project. It was a late night, but as you can see, the sled wraps are complete, and we're stoked about that. But it's day 2, and it's time to kick things off by opening a package that we received yesterday.
Next day air, just in time. This right here, we've got brake levers from a new company called 3D Logik. Chris is over by where we're at in Idaho, and he offered to hook us up with some brake levers this year, so let's see what these are all about. That looks like mine.
I'd say it matches pretty well.
There you go.
Look at these bad boys. Little clutch logo on there.
Pull them out of the package.
Without further ado, oh, that is sick. That is completely sick.
Yeah, so Chris going above and beyond, engraving the little clutch logo in here, custom anodizing these colors. These are some of his first Skidoo brake levers. He's gonna be selling these. What's really cool about this is it's a billet aluminum lower, but it's kind of that breakaway style lever like your dirt bike controls. It's also adjustable, and you can replace this molded end very easily. So it'd be real easy to keep a couple extra of these in the bag. You know, because the worst thing is if you break a throttle or a brake lever out on the mountain, you gotta improvise. So the Snow Studs team has arrived, or at least part of the team has arrived up here in Eagle River, and we're gonna get started today installing some new runners on our skis. Snow Studs obviously makes the best in the biz, so we want to be covered there.
Yeah, for sure. So this season, Jack's gonna be running the Polaris Gripper ski on his sled. What we've got is we've got our Sniper runner for the Polaris Gripper ski. For mountain riders, it's a square profile runner, adds to the keel, helps you turn in powder, but it also has a little bit of protective carbide on it to help you turn and help you get to the mountains when you got to ride the trails. As we know, it is important to be able to turn on the trails to get to the mountains.
Very well.
Other thing is it does have some protective hard weld on it as well, just for keeping you safe on the roads when you're driving through without wearing out the bottom of your ski.
Sweet.
In low snow conditions. So Dylan's gonna be running the Skidoo Pilot.
Yep.
We got some runners here for the Pilot. Again, square profile bar to help the thing turn. Some carbide to help it turn and protect it as well. So 100% USA made right here in Wisconsin. Proud to be working with you guys.
Yeah, likewise, and that's honestly what sets you guys apart, in my opinion, is that you're right here in Wisconsin. You know, you put a ton of passion into everything that you guys do. We've toured the facility and we've seen, you know, everything that goes on behind the scenes. You guys put in a lot of hard work, that's for sure. So we're excited to run the products this year. There's a ton of expertise and passion behind the Snow Studs brand. I mean, Dylan here, you've been racing oval for a long time, right?
Yeah, a long time. Started out 4 years old, racing kitty cats. Got out of them, went on a bunch of local grass drags and ice drags, and then got a pro ride back in 2019 running the Pro Light Pro Champ. So
Nice.
very
It's
been wicked.
26 years racing experience right there.
I'm 30 years old.
Right.
And Eagle River champ, eh?
Yeah, Sport Mod 440 in 15 and Super Stock Open in 2020.
Sweet.
That is so cool. This is a very exciting and important part of our sled setups, and something that we really loved over the last couple of years of using it is the Raptor shocks. And not only the Raptor shocks, but their Ace kit, which replaces the T-Motion rear scissor and some other components of the skid to eliminate the torsion spring suspension system. And your T-Motion, well, you can actually lock it in or lock it out, whether you want to use T-Motion or not. But that, with their Kinetic series shocks, rebound and compression adjustment, really dials these skids in and makes them really playful and yet really predictable. So we're stoked to get those in.
Yeah, I mean, combined, we've put a few thousand miles on this setup over the past couple of years. It's never let us down. It allows us to hit these big jumps. It's super playful in the trees. I feel like I have more control on when I want the sled to lift due to that coil-over conversion. And I also like having the T-Motion locked down. I think it offers a lot more predictability, especially when you're climbing. You need to make a move left or right, you know, not having that T-Motion wobbling in the back is what we prefer. So Dill's gonna tear into the rear skid. I'm gonna start on my front shocks because we're not gonna show you guys us doing everything twice. So I'm gonna get started on the front shock install while Dill tackles the skid and rail braces.
When you're doing this and you put on these collars, make sure you, when you put these on and tighten down the set screw, you leave it in a position where you can access it while the skid is in the snowmobile. So you don't want this, when you tighten it down, to, you know, be underneath there in the skid, if you will. Makes it very hard to adjust your T-Motion if you'd like. Well, the time has finally come. My skid is complete. I've got all the suspension in. I put my rail brace in it while I was out of the sled, set my preload, all that kind of stuff. Just all the adjustments that I want to make to kind of set my baseline before I start to fine tune this once the sled gets on the snow. So yeah, now all that's left to do is get the skid underneath the sled, and this thing will have suspension. And it's time to do front shocks and belt drive. So yeah, she's a pretty dialed looking setup.
We are getting there. We're getting there.
Get some.
We are getting the front shocks installed here on my sled. So one difference that we mentioned earlier is that Dylan ordered an X, I ordered an Expert. We both agree that the 34-inch front end is hocus pocus. Don't believe in it, think it's a bit too narrow, especially for the jumping that we do. But we can confirm that the shock length, center to center, is the same between the two front ends. So even though this is 2 inches narrower, it's gonna use the same shocks as all the Summits have for a few years since they came out with the 36-inch front end. So bolting these up, we're just gonna double check the range of motion, starting to get them dialed in, but The fit and finish on these is just unmatched, that's for sure. Between the anodized dials here for compression and rebound, the dual rate spring. So we have a fresh box here from Mountain Valley Machine. Super excited about this one, you guys. This is the MVM belt drive.
A couple belts, one of which will go on right away, and then the other one will be a spare, which will be nice to have.
Yeah, it's a really nice feature about the belt drive is if you do happen to blow a belt out on the mountain, you can just swap the belt. It takes about half an hour, but a lot cheaper than a heli ride. With a blown chain case.
Yeah.
So here we got the top pulley. What else do we got? This looks like the tensioner assembly. So they machine all this stuff in-house.
We got the bottom pulley here.
As part of this kit relocates the shot bracket. We'll show you how that works later, but this is that bracket. Look at that.
That's some bling right there. Wow.
Speece, what do you think?
This looks pretty mean.
Heck yeah.
Well, thank you, Dean
cool.
and Todd, for hooking it up with these things. We're stoked to run them. And thank you for doing that cool little one-off logo engraving.
Yeah, that's going the extra mile right there. Thank you guys so much. So the MVM belt drive does relocate the shot bracket, obviously, since it's positioned directly over the chain case cover, and we're eliminating that. So there's 4 of these guys that hold that shot bracket on, and or shot capacitor on. What you have to do is take a vice grips, and you have to actually grab this inside piece with your vice grip, and then you can take them off. So I've cleaned all the oil out of the chain case here. I've removed the stock tensioner. You pull that pin behind and you can back that tensioner right out. And now I'm gonna fit this gear onto this sprocket onto the chain case here. It is always a tight fit. I mean, even with a little bit of grease on these threads, it's gonna be difficult to get this on here. But as I inch this back, we'll get the top one on. You put the same stock circlips back in, and then I'll install the tensioner assembly. There we go. That is sick.
That is pretty sick. Are you into that, Speece?
Pretty snazzy, I'd say.
I'm into it. Oops, not into that.
Well, last but not least, our backwoods BMP bumpers arrived here while we were working on our sleds, so we're stoked about that.
Oh, dude. That is
Dude,
gnarly.
man.
No way.
Oh yeah, way.
And here we go. So these are the pieces for the rear bumper, the tunnel plates that go down the side, and then the grab handle. So that's sweet, we got our bumpers.
So as Jack mentioned, he's still got to do his bumper on his sled, but I just completed putting both of the backwoods BMP bumpers on mine. And we're gonna be running the backwoods BMP no skid plate bumper. We ran skid plates last year and had to trim them to make them fit, and it really didn't look right. So this year we're doing it right, and these things are solid. Let me tell you, the way that they bolt in and protect this whole nose cone piece is legit. These things are designed to shear off the bolts before they actually break other stuff under the hood. So pretty smart engineering there, but yeah, man, these things turned out beautiful, and now it's time to get the pipe in there, put the hood on, and give you guys a look at what the sled looks like all finished.
All right, we're done, almost. We've been at it for 13 hours and the sleds look incredible. We got everything accomplished today that we wanted to, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm completely speechless, man. These are by far, I think, the coolest sleds we've ever had. Probably say that every year, but this time it's for real. Next on the list is heading to Bikeman Performance to tackle everything that's under the hood here. We're kind of doing a similar setup to what we did last year, plus some goodies that we never had before. So we're really excited about that. That being said, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if there's any questions you have on any of the stuff that we installed here in this video. But for now, that's a wrap, and we will see you guys on next week's video when we're at Biking Performance. See you guys next Thursday.